Hey, y'all. Welcome back to Mountain Murders Sometime This Week. I'm Heather.
And I'm Dylan.
I thought your name was Gomez.
Yeah. Okay.
I like your mustache.
So, yeah, whatever. Went to a new barber. He got carried away with the clippers. Cut my mustache away. I would never cut it. And
it's very thin. I can see like a lot of the space between like your nose and your mustache.
yeah, I know. And if for my fellas out there, or whoever may have a mustache, when they do something you would never do because they just go like real deep on the cut, and you're in trouble, and you just have to go with it.
Well, I think a lot of folks can relate to that, Dylan. It's not just the men's.
Right.
It's the women's. It's the thems. Because we've all had like a bad experience at a salon or a barbershop where they just butcher your head.
Or do something
you just don't want.
Yeah,
right?
Right.
Well, I mean, it's still your head.
Yeah, but it's
just your face part of your head.
I should have known it's when they do the hard lineup all around your beard and hairline. That the way my hair grows, that doesn't really. It kind of works in parts of my face, but other parts not so much.
So what I love is when you came home from getting your hair cut, the way the guy had styled your hair, because you looked like someone's grandmother.
Someone's Jewish grandmother.
Yeah, you had like these little curls. I mean, it was like a little poodle perm, like a grandma would get.
Right.
My grandma used to always go to the beauty shop, and she would get those little poodle perms. They'd like have her sit under the dryer,
Well, and I think it takes time to build a relationship with a barber or hairstylist for them to know what you truly want.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, even if they did a great cut, that style you leave the barbershop with is not it.
Look, I had a haircut about a month ago, and I was super excited about this haircut. I've been growing my hair so I could get this particular cut. Spent a lot of money at a high-end salon, if you will, like with this stylist, and she seemed really cool and hip, right? But she did something fucked up to my hair, too, so... Yeah, I don't know.
Guess we just got to learn how to cut it ourselves.
I've got like this big swoop in the front like I'm a 14-year-old emo boy in 2005. I don't know.
All right. So enough about our heads.
No, we're going to keep talking about our heads,
No.
Dylan, because we don't have anything else to talk about.
That is a damn lie because we have a ton of true crime news to recap.
We absolutely do, Dylan. We are heading into the holiday season, and it just doesn't seem like people are slowing down out there. They just keep being crazy.
Yeah, everyone is off of the rails.
Well, we got to talk about this. It's a story I've been following for a few weeks now, and it has to be one of the trashiest murders I've heard of.
Okay.
Like in a hot minute. I don't know what's going on in Cadillac, Michigan, but this sounds like something that could be happening in our backyard because it's so trashy. We got to talk about this.
Lay it on me.
Courtney Bartholomew, the biological mother of pregnant 22-year-old Rebecca Park, allegedly confessed to police that her daughter was conscious while she cut an unborn baby from her womb.
Oh, my God.
Now, they found this poor girl's body, like, abandoned in the woods. She was pregnant. When they found her, there was no baby. So, I mean, obviously, that's a cause for concern.
So she's reported missing, pregnant,
Yes.
and then they found her remains?
Yes.
And there's no baby.
Right.
I think that goes beyond trashy. I think that's into the realm of
Well, no,
horror.
just wait, because it's like there's a whole trashy element to the story that makes it even worse, right? So her husband, Bradley Bartholomew, allegedly held a knife to Park throughout and then slit her throat. This is according to the New York Post. Now, the baby was not breathing, and the remains were allegedly placed into a cooler and left in a dumpster, per People magazine.
All right.
Park's body was reportedly covered with leaves and left in the woods. She had gone missing November 3rd, and it wasn't until November 25th that her remains were found. Now, that's horrible. This poor girl was conscious. She was alive when this happened to her. I cannot imagine the terror she felt. I mean, this is just unimaginable, and it's your mother and your stepfather.
Yeah. I mean, two people that you should trust.
So 40-year-old Courtney and 47-year-old Bradley Bartholomew, they've been charged with murder on December 2nd in connection with Park's death. So court documents obtained by People say that Bradley Bartholomew was a sex offender. Courtney allegedly planned to kill Park because the couple wanted more children, but they could not adopt because of his sex offender status. Yeah, he doesn't need to be anywhere near children.
No, and a woman that would support him getting, being around children or bring that person around their family is a pretty disgusting person.
People also reports that Courtney claimed she was going to give the child to Park's fiance, 43-year-old Richard Fowler. Now, here's the thing. Courtney briefly dated Fowler, and she actually wanted to leave her husband for him, but then Fowler had a change of heart and got back together with Park.
Okay.
So they'd just be like passing it around in this family. Rebecca's sister, Kimberly Park, was also allegedly involved with Fowler. Man, has this guy got like some platinum dick or something? Because I've seen the guy. No.
He's gross.
Well, yeah.
I don't know, but this...
people involved in this kind of thing, Dylan, are typically kind of gross. Like, you never see like super hot, like Kate Upton type of women involved in this, and these dudes are no Brad Pitt. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but anybody who gets with someone that's been with their daughter or their son or their
So
mom
gross.
or their dad is just, you're crossing lines.
I mean, somebody out there is probably screaming like, I got with my brother's wife, but like, come on, guy.
I don't know. It all seems very weird to me and something I would never do.
Well, Kimberly Park is currently on house arrest after being charged with evidence tampering, lying to a police officer, and filing a false police report. To protect Fowler, Kimberly Park allegedly falsely told officers Park had died after hitting her head during a seizure, and they had taken her body to a swamp. Courtney Bartholomew allegedly told investigators that her initial plan was to cut Park's baby out of her in front of Fowler. But she also stated that Bradley Bartholomew was the father of Park's child. See, this is where it gets fucked up. So she's having a baby with her stepdaddy. Her mama's done fucked her boyfriend.
What?
Apparently the sister also had some kind of sexual relationship with the boyfriend Fowler.
She was holding the camera.
And then the stepdad's a sex offender. I mean, what is going on in this family? This is dysfunction at its finest. Or worst. I don't know.
Certainly is. And it's almost hard to pick out who's the victim in something this big of a mess. And I'm sure there were some people involved that were being victimized in ways. And it's certainly a situation that young children should not be brought into.
I love how I just am like, fuck these people. And then you have like this really like intelligent response to that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree with you. Fuck these people.
But according to people, Courtney Bartholomew said that Park's killing was in retaliation against Fowler, who allegedly reported Bradley Bartholomew for a sex offender violation.
Oh, okay.
Both Bartholomews are being held without bond, which sounds like that's a good choice.
Look.
So mom had sex with Rebecca's boyfriend. Sister had sex with Rebecca's boyfriend.
Was that retaliation?
And then Rebecca was having a baby with her stepfather.
Which made mom mad.
This is just...
So she...
It's almost like hard to keep up with this. Like, this isn't even like a love triangle. This is like a love rhombus or something.
No, this doesn't even sound real. It sounds like something that AI would concoct. And I just don't even know what to say.
Well, I just said it was really trashy. I mean, it's a horrible murder, but on top of it, it's just trashy. Like, y'all some trash.
No, it's horrible. It's disgusting, honestly.
I'm going to change the last name to Bartholomew.
You know, at a certain point as a society, I think we should just come to grips with the fact that when you get to such a level of a heinous, horrible crime, that I don't think you deserve due process or any
depravity.
of that. I mean, you really don't. I think you should be put down in the street. If we know it's you,
like a
100%,
damn dog.
Yeah, you really should do it. You don't need extended appeals or any of that shit.
Well, look, I mean, we put down dogs who bite people. Why can't we put down people who hurt people?
We should make a machine specifically designed to kill you in the slowest, most horrible way, like picking little tiny...
Like a jigsaw contraption?
Or yeah. And televise that shit. Make everybody know that this is available. And if you do certain things, you will go into this contraption. You will, definitely.
Death machine.
And we will we'll live stream it, and all the revenue from the clicks, because you know there's going to be plenty, will go to a fund that supports victims' family.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
Dude, I like this utopian society that you are creating.
What's wrong with that?
I don't know. I think we should bring back public executions, like public hangings. I really feel like if we had public hangings again, it might deter some crime.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, at the very
Some
least,
of these people just fucked up, so who knows?
you're not going to deter at all, but you will, I think, quickly call certain types of people out of your society, and your society will be better for it.
But Dylan, they're people and they got feelings.
Well, I hope they do have feelings so they can feel my death machine
So they can feel
slowly killing
those
them.
10,000 paper cuts that come with your death machine.
Yeah.
Dude, so let's just think of some torture methods that the death machine could entail. It could have like 1,000 or 10,000 paper cuts. That'd be pretty terrible. Because what if you like paper cut between people's toes? Because like think how bad that would feel. And then I want like a hammer that like or something that stubs your toe repeatedly.
Oh.
Because think how painful that is.
Damn.
Now that would be some real torture right there.
Well, I got an idea. How about a machine?
And or something that not only stubs your toe, but it bangs against your elbow too.
How about a machine that slowly scoops like minuscule scoops of meat out of your skin, like almost microscopic, but it just does it at such a rate that over the course of like 6 weeks, you just die. And you've had nothing but pain and horrible burning the entire time.
I think you're possessed.
Yeah.
Possessed by good ideas.
Ha-ha!
All right. So let's move along, Dylan. This is a very scary story. So a homeless Massachusetts woman has been charged in the stabbing of another woman in the bathroom of Macy's in New York City. And this woman, the homeless Massachusetts woman, has a history of mental illness. She was released from a psychiatric hospital hours before she attacked and claimed that voices in her head said she had to kill someone or she would be killed.
Okay.
Carrie Ahern, 43, stabbed a California woman in the back on Thursday as she was changing her baby inside a bathroom in the iconic Macy's Herald Square.
So this mother is in there taking care of her child.
Tourist,
right.
A tourist with a baby.
You got to get the baby cleaned up. You probably feel like you're in Macy's. I'm sure a certain sense of security and well-being and safety comes with being in a place like that. It's all shiny, pretty, all these nice things. And you're kind of wide-eyed. You're in the Big Apple.
You're on vacation.
Yeah, you're having a great time. And
New
just
York, in the holiday season.
Yeah. So out of nowhere, you're attacked.
Well, the victim, who has only been identified by her employment with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, was rushed to Bellevue Hospital and fortunately was discharged on Friday. So it seems like she is okay. These were not life-threatening wounds.
Good.
Yes. Ahern was charged with attempted murder, 2 counts of assault, criminal possession of a weapon, and endangering the welfare of a child in connection with what police have described as an unprovoked attack. Now, she is being held without bail. But court records show that Ahern, again, her last known address being in Tewksbury, Massachusetts, has a long history of struggling with mental illness. Prosecutors said in a criminal complaint that Ahern told police she had been discharged from a Manhattan psychiatric center on the morning of Thursday's stabbing after having been held there for a year.
Wow.
She also allegedly said she purchased a knife at Macy's and looked for someone to kill because the voices in her head told her she had to kill someone or she would be killed.
This in many ways, this is a sad story because this woman is obviously deeply disturbed.
Yes.
And it's really, this is one of the trickiest situations in true crime, in crime period, that you hear. Because you have this person who is obviously very sick, struggling probably most of her adult life, maybe even as a young person.
Well, yeah. In 2019, records show that she was deemed an incapacitated person and her mother and sister were appointed as her guardians. So clearly she has some very serious issues.
Right. And see, even for her own safety and well-being, discharging her back out into the public's probably not the thing to do, right? I mean, we really as a society have to figure out another way to approach this and what's best for her and what's best for society at large. And I think that is living in some kind of a shared living home, whatever you call it,
Maybe like a group home.
a
or
group
something.
home of some sort where she has oversight and people that understand what she's dealing with and the things and her behaviors and things like that, and realize maybe when she's spiraling out of control or if her meds get off, because a lot of these people, they are not able to, they don't have the capacity to monitor their own medicine, and I don't know.
Well, she was placed on a court-ordered treatment plan to ensure that she continued taking her medication, which is Prolixin, an antipsychotic medication that is used to treat schizophrenia. But we know how that goes, Dylan.
Right.
With the court-ordered medication, I mean, you have a relative that has kind of experienced the same thing. And again, without constant supervision, he does not take his medication.
No.
And then kind of goes off the rails.
Right.
Right?
Right. And that happens a lot. And it does sound like that family of medicine or medications is rough and pretty hard. Lots of bad side effects, makes you feel bad in many ways. And it's just almost like a no-win situation. And it's really hard to say what's right. But I think releasing a person like this back out into public is not the right call. I think that is the number one wrong call, because more than likely there's no oversight.
Well, it's dangerous for the public, and it's also dangerous for the person who could experience some kind of psychotic break.
Yes.
And in that, be shot by police.
Or do some terrible deed.
Or do some terrible thing, or be attacked by someone else who fears for their life. You know, I mean,
right.
Just, I don't know.
And I must say, this does not mean all us true crime fans and our listeners know that this does not mean every person who deals with these types of things is prone to violence. That's not true at all, because there's many, many people who are able to manage their lives. Loved ones help them, manage their medicine and things like that, and they lead good lives and stuff like that. But, so mental health problems does not necessarily equate to violence.
No, it doesn't.
But for some, unfortunately, there seems to be a pattern of behaviors and cycles where they do lash out when they get in certain states of mind or have a mental break, and it's dangerous for everyone involved, especially the most dangerous for Jane and John Q. Public, who have no idea. When I look at this person I walk in, there's not a sign around her neck saying, I've had mental health issues all my life and sometimes I'm dangerous, right? You don't have no idea what's going on with that person.
Well, it's very fortunate that the victim has survived, and it sounds like with not, I'm not going to say minimal injuries, but she was released from the hospital. That's a very good thing. And it's just incredibly lucky that the baby was not harmed during this attack.
But she will carry that trauma with her for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
There's no telling how badly that she may not be able to go out in public anymore. She may have a fear of strangers. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can affect that woman for the rest of her life.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's the part I think that is often left out of the conversation. We pay a lot of attention to the assailant, but then kind of leave out the parts where the victim is going to be traumatized and have to live with this. I mean, exactly everything that you just said.
Right. And see, as soon as this woman gets to court, her entire defense is going to be, well, she's had these issues all her life, Your Honor.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, it's not her fault, really.
Well, the judge said she would be held without bail until her next court appearance. Ahern interrupted and begged not to be sent to another mental hospital. She said that she didn't want to go back to another hospital because she did not receive any help at the Manhattan Psychiatric Center. But she is due back in court on December 17th. And here's my thought, and maybe it'll make somebody angry out there. But instead of sending like billions of dollars overseas to fight wars that we shouldn't be involved in, we could invest those billions into like mental health treatment in our own country for people who are struggling.
Right, quality mental health.
Mental health and like drug rehab programs.
I think there should be
that would be nice.
Very nice, completely financed, just good, nice, clean places that don't have a bunch of sadists running them, right? So you thoroughly vet the workers and everyone who come, even down to the janitors and orderlies. We know that you're not some sicko who's going to prey on these people in the middle of the night. And they should have communities where these people who can't seem to get over that hump by themselves get to live a safe, unexploited life that's safe for everyone. And we should fund that. I have no problem with my tax dollars funding that. That's where
you could have like a nice little community.
Yeah.
You have a little garden.
You can figure out if there's some jobs that they're into.
Therapy, group therapy, maybe do some art.
Yeah.
Work in the garden, be able to go take a nice walk around the perimeter or whatever. I mean.
But you are in a controlled setting where you have, that's what happens is they go to these places. They're forced to have their medicine in regimental style or whatever. They do get better to a certain degree, more lucid, and they seem quite a bit more capable. But as soon as they leave those places, and there's certainly a dark side to the mental health industry, we've heard those stories. As soon as they leave those places, they get off their medicine, they get off their cycles, and they start a spiral. I mean, it's just a big cycle. You see it over and over again.
Well, Dylan, let's discuss this wild story out of Canada.
Okay.
Our Canadian neighbors up north. So a Canadian man who died in 2019 has been identified as the perpetrator of 3 cold case homicides in Toronto. And investigators believe there could be more victims.
Oh, gosh.
Toronto police said recent forensic testing and genetic genealogy conclusively identified 72-year-old Kenneth Smith of Windsor, Ontario, as the person who killed 2 women in the 1980s and a 3rd woman in the 1990s. They say the first woman, her name was Christine Prince, she was 22, was found dead on June 22nd of 1982 in the Rouge River in Toronto after she was sexually assaulted and then struck on the head. Police say 23-year-old Claire Sampson was found dead with gunshot wounds in Oro Medonte Township on September 1st, 1983. And the 3rd victim was 41-year-old Gracelyn Greenidge, and she died of a blunt force trauma in her Toronto apartment on July 29th of 1997.
Wow.
Smith lived and worked in Toronto at the time of the homicides and had a history of sexual assault. And like I said, investigators do believe there could be more victims. And as we know, genetic genealogy has increasingly been used to track down these unidentified criminal suspects and help solve scores of cold cases in recent years. I mean, obviously, there's the Joseph D'Angelo case, the Golden State Killer, probably the biggest known case to be solved with the genetic genealogy.
Right.
But I mean, this case, according to the Toronto police, has haunted their office for many years, these cold cases. And so they were really kind of amazed to be able to, create a DNA profile to upload to these public databases and then compare the profiles and help to trace these individuals within a certain family tree. I mean, if you think about the whole process, it is amazing.
Oh, no, it certainly is.
And I mean, I think it really goes to show that forensics and law enforcement have really kind of like broken a barrier with this technology.
Yeah, and there's been some conversations about should every citizen be compelled to give their a sample of their DNA to these types of programs. That how much, because even if you're an innocent person, one of your relatives or something like that could be guilty of something, and it could be discovered through you adding your information into these databases. How do you feel about that? Is that just purely Big Brother as far as you're concerned? I mean, because I
see both sides of that. I understand people wanting privacy, but I also think if you're able to find a serial killer or solve a cold case, I mean, if that was your loved one, wouldn't you want that case solved no matter what it takes?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you look at it from that perspective, a lot of people would be willing to give up their DNA. My only thing with my giving up my DNA and why I've not done one of those ancestry tests, although who knows, they probably have our DNA on file anyway in today's world.
Well, you were military, so they probably definitely have yours.
I'm probably on a government watch list, so I'm sure they've got mine. Anywho, as long as they're not doing something nefarious with it.
Well, that's the problem.
I mean, that's the thing that freaks me out is, are they going to grow a clone? Are they going to grow a clone and organ harvest from my clone? Are they going to replace me with a clone?
Well, can I get some organs from my clone?
Well, I don't know, maybe, but you probably don't have enough money because that's going to be like the next thing. The next big thing is we're going to grow you some replacement organs. Like that. Have you ever seen Repo, the genetic opera?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where like you finance a new organ
From these corporations.
and then they come tear it out of you.
if you stop
if you
paying,
stop paying for
they
it.
actually repossess the organ.
Man, Bill Moseley's great in that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with that. And I do see two sides of the argument. But that is the problem, is the powerful, or they never have typically the best interest of anyone besides themselves in mind. And they will always abuse any kind of system like that, right?
Yeah. I don't trust them as far as I could throw them.
Well, I mean, now you have all your online data.
And by them, I mean like, the dark powers that be.
Your online footprint
Basically our Congress.
is constantly monitored and gathered into a file and then turn around and sold without your permission to all these other companies. And so people make billions of dollars off this. I think you deserve a chunk of that money.
One of the craziest things for me, I mean, that just absolutely just freaks me out, is I will go into a store and look at a product and be like, and then like all day, the shit will start popping up on my social media feed.
Right.
And I'm like, how do they know? How do they even know I was looking for like an ice maker?
Yeah, I know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I've heard people say they were discussing back and forth with their wife or husband or whoever about curtains, or we should, we need bed sheets. And then, those ads start popping up on both their social media feeds, and they're at home discussing this. So, I mean, that's really kind of weird, right?
Well, you were telling me like earlier today, your TikTok feed was just trying to sell you makeup.
Why was that?
Like tons of
you
makeup.
saw it, right?
Yeah.
Now, I've never seen that many makeup ads on my TikTok feed, and I'm just trying to figure out why all of a sudden this is happening to me.
I don't know. Were we discussing makeup recently, perhaps?
Because it was all palettes, and you love palettes because you got a ton of them, of all the, kooky colors and stuff.
So you're saying my eye makeup is kooky?
Well, I mean, all the different.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think kooky's a bad word.
I go out. I want to look kooky. Okay. And Dora from Bewitched is like my spirit animal. Okay. And I want to look like a drag queen, even though I'm not a drag. But I love the bold.
You like the flair.
Crazy, like big eye. Yeah. I want to look clownish. That's my jam.
Okay. Well, I still don't know why it's on my feed.
Well, then why'd you marry me if you don't like my neon green eyeshadow?
Well, I never said I didn't like it.
Huh.
I think we should move on.
Okay. Oh, well, let's move on back to your fucking mustache. Dylan, this is just so nuts. And why is it that anytime we get a cult-like group, there always seems to be something nefarious attached to that? Like, we can never just have a good cult. Like a cult for good.
Well, yeah. Well, the problem. Well, it's because you have to be a psychopath to develop a cult. Because a cult is all about developing a system that sucks people in, but they're always used by the upper echelon, right? I mean, it's a power dynamic that is played out in society, in business, and in cults. I think it's in an interesting way, like a sociological way. You can see how power corrupts. You can see it on display in almost the rawest form, honestly, in a cult.
I don't want any power.
With power comes responsibility.
Yeah, it does.
If you want to wield it for any kind of good. And see, I think that's what's wrong with our government now. They don't even act like, and this is all of them, okay? This is not.
Oh, they're all bastards.
They're all goobers. And they don't want to actually do what's good for communities or the country. None of them. I mean, it's a joke.
No, I think they all hate us.
I think they all want to be influencers or be popular in some weird way, and this is just a vehicle for that.
Well, I think it's just a vehicle for them to like launder some money and somehow become a billionaire when they're like, hey, I'm the House Speaker. I'm going to retire. Look at my stock portfolio.
Right.
Okay, so let's move along here. 2 high-ranking members of a cult-like group just outside of Palm Springs were arrested on suspicion of killing one of their members Thursday. And this is 3 years after the victim was last seen at a Starbucks. You know, if I'm going to go missing, the last place I want to go, I'd like to have a nice latte before somebody snatches me.
You went out doing something you love.
Yeah, drinking coffee. Now, this story, Dylan, is just wild. So the group goes by, quote, His Way Spirit-Led Assemblies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would never imagine if I saw that on a sign somewhere, I would never imagine that that was a cult.
Dude, there is a church, and this is just like a sidebar. When I drive to my doctor's office, which is actually your doctor's office as well, there's this church that totally weirds me out, and it's like basically the People's Temple, or like the temple for all peoples.
Yeah.
And it just gives me like the weird vibes. Like the building is very strange.
Right.
The architecture and their signage, and I can't not think that it's like a Jim Jones type of situation, and I don't ever want to go there.
We should infiltrate that place for our listeners and get some solid audio and go like deep into the cult.
I mean, maybe it's like the most amazing church ever, but it just weirds me out. And I'm like, why would you call something like the People's Temple, basically?
I guess maybe they want to represent all the people.
Okay, so this group has been under investigation since 2023 when a former member, Emilio Ganem, who was 40, was reported missing shortly after leaving the cult. Redlands police arrested the alleged leader, Daryl Martin, 58, and another high-ranking member, Rudy Marino, 43, at the group's headquarters for murder and gun charges, and they are being held without bail.
Okay.
I mean, it's just wild. So the cultist group is run by Martin and his wife, Shelley Bailey Cat Martin. It's a lot of names. Who calls herself a prophetess,
Oh.
according to ABC7.
She's not a profiteer?
Now, an ex-member told KTLA the group stored packaged food, water, and other supplies meant to last for years, like in preparation for the end times. So obviously they're like one of those apocalyptic cults.
Well, it's not a good cult unless I have a date for, the apocalypse to start.
You know, they give you a day and then it passes and then like they give you another day and it's just like, you've already got my hopes up.
Dude, that's why if I had a cult,
Like I keep hearing there could be like this meteor crashing into Earth and I'm like waiting for it and then it never happens.
if I had a cult, I would put my date way off, like 200 years.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you
Well,
doing?
yeah.
You can't make it like next Wednesday, bud.
Right.
And you're just going to be like, my bad. I meant to say,
Oops.
Friday.
I was having digestive issues that day and I got the date wrong. Now, Ganem's family said he was a devout member of this group for 2 decades. He had started a pest control company in Nashville, Tennessee, and then went to California to open like a satellite office. Members worked at his pest control company. It was known as MaxGuard. According to the police department, the pest control company did not reply, to any requests for comment, according to this news article. Now, all the funds would be given to the pastors, which reportedly was like over $2 million a year.
So are these people working for free at the pest control company?
Well, they're all members of this group.
Right.
So I'm assuming, yes, they turn all the money over.
Yeah.
Because, I guess the group takes care of them.
And they just they get just enough to survive and housing and food and keep you healthy so you can go out there and work real hard for the leader.
Ganem was last seen driving a rented Nissan Frontier pickup truck by surveillance cameras, which were captured in Grand Terrace. His disappearance was considered a missing persons case up until August of this year, August 1st, when the case turned into a possible homicide after Redlands police found that rental truck. And inside, there was evidence and personal items belonging to the victim. Martin and his wife were arrested they were arrested on suspicion this is very strange. They were arrested on suspicion of possessing illegal weapons, but were not charged.
Okay.
How do you get arrested but then not charged?
Well, maybe they had some type of suspicion that didn't pan out. That does seem a little strange.
His wife was released because she had some type of medical episode. This guy Martin is possibly connected to the death of a 4-year-old child in Colton, California, and the disappearance of 2 more men.
Damn.
Yeah. His wife being a prophetess, I can't believe she didn't see this coming.
Yeah, she should have known.
She should have known better. Can't trust these prophetesses.
Look, anytime this type of you're being used by someone, an organization, a group, friends, whoever, it's not good, and it's usually not going to work out for you, right?
Yeah. Have you heard this story about this woman who was hospitalized after an acid attack? in Savannah?
No, but every time I hear of one of these acid attacks being thrown on people in their face or whatever, it totally freaks me out.
Well, a woman is recovering from these life-altering injuries after police say she was the victim of a chemical attack near Forsyth Park on Wednesday night. Now, Forsyth Park is a hugely popular area in Savannah. We've been to Forsyth Park.
Right.
Fountains. We see people running, exercising, like playing Frisbee, just napping in the grass. Lots of kids and families. Tourists.
Well,
so it's a really popular park.
Where do you even get acid from to throw on someone?
I don't know, Dylan, but the assault happened near West Waldberg and Whitaker Streets, just steps from, as I mentioned, one of the city's most visited landmarks. So on Thursday night, Savannah police released a photo of a person they were urgently trying to identify. The image captured on surveillance video shows someone in a dark hoodie walking near the area at the time of the attack. So investigators are asking anyone who recognizes this individual to contact them immediately. Ashley Wazalewski, the victim, remains in a Georgia burn center after suffering third-degree burns.
Oh, my God.
Police say she was walking near the park just before 8 p.m. when this man kind of crept up behind her and then poured this unknown chemical on her. And she did not know her attacker. Her friend Connor Millam said the call she received that night is something she'll never forget. She's like, I've never heard anyone sound like that. It was horrific.
Jesus.
Now, of course, this violence has shaken many who frequent the park, including people who often walk there alone. That's just wild. So a neighbor heard this poor woman screaming and ran outside. They found the victim on the ground with her clothes partially melted. Even her keys appeared damaged by whatever this corrosive liquid was.
These unprovoked attacks like this are really disturbing, and it seems to be happening very often lately.
Wazalewski's ex-husband said that he feels this attack was targeted and said, quote, it's just short of a hate crime. You don't just target someone for no reason. She's going to need skin grafts as she continues recovering from surgeries.
No, the fact that it's a chemical burn, essentially, and it's being described as third degree, that's so horrible.
And this lady, this victim, she's described by her friends as being a very kind, generous person. She's somebody who goes out, carrying these, care bags and passes them out to the homeless.
And that's the person randomly attacked.
Yeah. Somebody went out of their way to create this concoction or seek it out, whatever it is, and then just pour it on somebody and you disfigure them for the rest of their lives?
No. Yeah, you should be, if they catch this person, they should be put under the jail. They should go to jail for life at the very least.
Yeah, it's very scary. I just don't understand why these types of random attacks keep happening. You had the poor Ukrainian woman who was stabbed on the train in Charlotte. You had the lady set on fire in Chicago while she was waiting on a train.
Yeah.
Now you've got this. You had that veterinarian stabbed at the park walking her dog. Was that in Alabama?
It's crazy.
It's just these random attacks keep happening. And it's always it seems like 95% of the time, it's always random attacks on women.
Right.
So these perpetrators are fucking cowards because they're typically men, unless you're the stabber lady in the Macy's bathroom. But they go out. It's like they go out and look for some random woman to attack.
Yeah. Well, it's just a continuation of violence against women.
Always.
That's never been
properly addressed.
You'll see something will happen or a rash of things. And people will demand change in laws, say it's school shootings or whatever. No matter how you feel about those, you know what I'm saying. You'll see some stuff happening, a rash of similar crimes, and people will be pounding desks and demanding, laws, legislation, outcries, all this stuff. But it never seems to happen for violence against women, which is one of the biggest issues our society's had for hundreds of years, thousands of years probably.
Yeah.
And the fact that rapists still don't get death sentences, right? Or, serial domestic violence men beating their women,
Abusers.
typically, or serial domestic violence abusers, period, don't get life sentences, you know? They say, well, you had a restraining order, and we know how good that works out. The papers being filed at the courthouse is a lot of protection.
It's super bulletproof.
Right? I had an insane ex who hunted me down counties over, where I was basically trying to hide away from her.
Stalked you at work.
Stalked me at work.
On the job site.
Everywhere, on my job site, everywhere I went in public. So I leave and go away. She comes over there, and the police treat me like shit. Me and my wife.
Your
like shit.
wife.
When this person has invaded our home and is there tearing up our property and threatening me, but we're pieces of shit, like some Jerry Springer shit. I don't get it.
I know. While she's out in the yard acting like a maniac.
And they let her drive away. And a stolen
with no
truck
license
with
and
a dead
stolen
tag
truck
and no
and
license.
yes.
They let her drive away. I mean, make it make sense. But anyway, that was a personal thing for me. And that certainly.
But it was pretty traumatic because
Well,
honestly,
yeah.
for like, what, 2 years?
Well,
Essentially, we were like looking over our shoulder constantly because we never knew when this bitch was going to like surprise attack.
right.
Ambush.
and
Because
the-
she's like hiding in
yeah.
a bush or something.
Old Bush bitch. No, and definitely the system failed over and over again from.
Well, I had a restraining. I've had 2 restraining orders against her, and repeated violations of this restraining order. And every time I would have her violated, like my understanding was they go pick them up,
Right.
and they're supposed to put them in jail for 48 hours or whatever.
And take them back in front of the judge.
But
and,
they wouldn't. They would violate her and then just give her a court date to show up on the violation.
And
that was, but it's
yeah.
like this isn't doing anything.
it's not protecting you.
You're
at all.
not helping. Yes, because we lived in fear. Like I really thought this person was going to kill me for a good solid 2 years.
Right.
I mean, I only now feel safe that I like fled my home county to get away from this craziness.
Yeah, and we're basically
Because basically, up until the day we left, 6 years into our marriage, this woman is still driving by our house. It's just something else.
But I mean, to that all being said, I'm just saying it gave me a true sense of how the system fails over and over.
Yeah.
And how you're not safe.
You're not safe.
And it's ridiculous. And it's
And if you're the victim of domestic violence and you seek one of these orders, I mean, just the way you are treated, it's like you're the problem. So it's understandable why a lot of women don't seek help.
No, and my advice to anyone like that is to leave where you're at if they are failing you like this. And I know this may sound harsh, but move to a stand your ground state or a state with castle doctrine, okay? And so and arm yourself. And so now you're in a much better position to truly protect yourself because it really is on you to protect yourself in the heat of the moment especially.
I'm glad I live in a stand your ground state.
I am too. Anyway.
Nobody hiding in my bushes now.
Nah, there ain't no bush bitches out there right now. That's why I keep them trimmed down low.
That's because she only comes out at Halloween. She's fucking scary looking. Okay, so this is a lighter story, Dylan. We have an alligator in Florida who's been arrested because he was inside a 7-Eleven store.
Free that alligator.
Yeah, he was refusing to make any purchases. He was
Why?
just loitering in the store. This 10 feet, 3 inches long alligator.
Damn. He's not, that's huge.
The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office measured this gator who happened to just wander up to the 7-Eleven store on North River Road in Sarasota.
So did he come up to like the sliding glass door or sliding doors and they opened for him?
I'm not sure, but the sheriff's office said on social media, quote, "Yes, it happened again. Another day, another gator."
He was just trying to get a big gulp.
Sarasota's really determined to make this a weekly series. The sheriff's office previously removed a 14-foot, 600-pound alligator from the middle of the road just a week earlier.
Jesus, I don't know, guys. People down there in Florida, if we have any listeners, tell me how you do it. How do you live in a place that has animals, creatures that big in the wild?
Well, Renee updates us quite a bit on because I've discussed this with her.
Yeah.
Because I hate those palmetto bugs.
Right.
And a lot of folks who live in the deep south know what I'm talking about. It's just like basically the biggest cockroach you've ever seen.
God, they're so scary.
They're very scary.
You can't catch them. They're
And
fast.
Renee says they're like all over Florida and they fly. They fly, Dylan.
No.
It's that. Look, Florida's gorgeous, and I would like to live at a beach, but I don't think I could live there because they have those big ass snakes in the Everglades, and they have flying bugs
and huge alligators.
The alligator doesn't really freak me out so much.
Oh, come on! If you've seen a 10-foot alligator, in your
Bro,
yard,
I went on a canoeing trip through the Everglades, and in the mangroves where you ain't got nowhere to go, bud, we was paddling right past gators.
and they're just hanging out.
And typically they don't bother you.
Okay.
You just see their little like eyes sticking up, like they're watching you.
Okay.
Little baby gators swim up, but like you don't, they don't typically. They don't seem that aggressive.
All right.
I'm not really that afraid of a gator.
All right. Duly noted. She gator lover.
But I'm very afraid of the dead snake that we found in our basement.
Yeah.
Why? Okay. There's a dead snake in the basement.
There was.
Yeah, you finally removed it.
Right.
After you left it there to torture me for days. That's why
I didn't leave it there.
Look, that's why the laundry was piled up. I'm not going down there. And then I was wondering, like, why is a mama snake birthing baby snakes? Because it was a baby snake in December. Like, it's pretty fucking cold. Is this snake season?
Maybe that was a breed of snake that's tiny. Maybe it's a tiny snake.
Well, regardless, I hate it. Now, Dylan, a few weeks ago, there was a drunk raccoon that broke into a liquor store and kind of went viral on the internet.
Yeah, I think a lot of people saw this video.
Oh, yeah. So this raccoon had broken into this Ashland ABC store on Black Friday. It broke several liquor bottles and was found passed out drunk in the bathroom.
Yeah,
Yes.
Little dude was laid out.
But Animal Protection Officer Samantha Martin has now disclosed on an episode of Here in Hanover, which is the county's official podcast, that this was not the trashed panda's first crime.
Really?
Yeah, she said this is not the first time he's been in one of the buildings. Supposedly, this is the third break-in that he's had. He was in the karate studio, and I think he got into the DMV, ate some of their snacks one time.
Damn. He's a little burglar.
Now, they took this little raccoon to the shelter after the liquor store incident so that he could sober up before they released him near the scene of these multiple crimes.
Well, I have to say, I am pretty strict on crime. That after a certain point, when do we lock this raccoon up?
Well, I don't know, but somehow he knows how to get into these buildings. I guess this maybe is like a shopping center, but he's figured out how to get into these buildings. She says that he's a very smart little critter, but she hopes that he's learned something about temperance from this most recent break-in.
I don't think so. I think he will strike again, and I suspect he's accessing the HVAC system from the roof.
You think the raccoon's on the roof?
Well, why not?
How can it get? Does it have a tiny ladder?
Well, dude, it's a raccoon. They climb trees and shit.
But do they climb the side of a building? Dylan?
Probably. He'll probably go rob a pole or
You think
something.
he just scales the side of the building like Spider-Man?
He's probably like Tom Cruise, dun, 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 dun. He's rappelling
You
down.
watched the recent Mission Impossible movie?
I did.
And you said, oh my God, they all look so old. And then it made you feel very old.
Oh my God, everybody's so old in the movie. Obviously, it's been going on for decades. The Mission Impossible
Those first
series
movies came out, in like the 90s?
Yeah.
When we were teenagers?
And gosh, everybody's so old. Even little Tom Cruise is starting finally, all the.
Why has he always got to be little Tom Cruise?
Oh, that's from the Family Guy episode.
He is
obviously.
a little Tom Cruise.
And well, no, it's funny. I caught a glimpse of, or I caught an interview with Nicole Kidman from years ago when they divorced. And I think it was Letterman or someone asked her how's she doing now, and she's like, "Well, I can wear heels again," which is pretty funny. But no, everybody's really old. Gosh, and that just lets me know that my internal clock is ticking. I'm running out of time here.
Your biological clock, Dylan. You need to go out there and spread as many seeds as possible.
Oh, no. No.
Bring me a baby.
No,
baby.
No
Okay.
babies. No, I can't keep up with a
Look,
baby.
I just want a little fat baby to love.
Cow, I know.
Just let me love on your fat baby for like a couple of days. I'll take care of it. I'm a really good babysitter.
She is.
I'm wonderful with babies. They love me, don't they?
It's true.
like a baby whisperer.
We'll watch a baby, but we like to give babies back.
I'll snuggle a baby.
Right.
I'll snuggle your baby all day. I'll be the most content baby, just nuzzled in my bosom, sleeping.
She has ample bosoms for your baby to nuzzle on.
Yes, I do. Now, Dylan, have you been keeping up? Because I know that you're kind of like, yeah, about sports, but this shit that's going on with this like football coach at Michigan, at the University of Michigan.
No, I have no idea what's happening.
Well, my son lives like just down the street from the stadium. So
right.
We constantly pass this football stadium every time that we go to Ann Arbor. His name is Sharon Moore, and he was fired as the University of Michigan's head football coach on December 10th after some credible evidence surfaced that he allegedly engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member.
Oh.
Now, hours later, he was detained by police and arrested after officers responded to an alleged assault. And on December 12th, Moore was arraigned on charges of felony home invasion, misdemeanor stalking, and entering without permission.
Damn.
Let's get into this. So new details continue to emerge regarding the circumstances surrounding Moore's firing and arrest. On December 10th, as I mentioned, the University of Michigan Wolverines head coach was fired from the school after credible evidence found that he had engaged in this inappropriate relationship with a staff member. And just hours later, the football coach was detained by police when they responded to an alleged assault. The university's president then released an official statement on December 11th saying that, the school has a zero tolerance policy for this kind of conduct and that this was a breach of trust by Coach Moore. It's painful for many in the community, first and foremost, and of course, the individuals directly involved in the situation. And that's true. When a scandal like this breaks out, it is very hard for students, for faculty, staff, for the community.
Right.
And I think we take kind of that for granted, but I'm sure this coach had a lot of young people looking up to him.
I'm sure.
He was a leader, his players kind of looking to him. And then, how disappointing to find out this person that you view as a role model or whatever
is a piece of shit.
Is doing this fucked up stuff.
So what, he got fired
allegedly.
And then went to a home?
Well, on December
whoever reported him?
Moore was arraigned on charges of felony home invasion, misdemeanor stalking, and entering without permission. So yeah, basically, he broke into a woman's home earlier in the week following her breaking up with him. Pittsfield Township Police released a statement of their own saying that at 4:10 p.m. on December 10th, I guess they showed up for the purposes of investigating an alleged assault and that the incident did not appear random in nature or whatever. A 911 dispatcher who appears to reference the alleged assault involving Moore said that a caller reported that an unnamed man had been stalking her for months. In an audio, you can hear a 911 dispatcher asking the subject, what's happening, and the victim saying that a male was at the location in the house attacking her, that he'd been stalking her for months. And while the former Michigan coach's name wasn't exactly, recorded in this conversation that took place on December 10th, it was just shortly before he was arrested. And it was the 300 block of Ann Arbor Saline Road, which is the location police identified as the site of this alleged incident involving him.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, he shows up to this person's house after she broke up with him, and then he starts attacking her.
It sounds like a dumbass.
And he's been harassing her.
No impulse control.
I mean, you're in this position that many would love to be in, right? You're the head football coach of a very prominent school.
Yeah, Michigan football is a big deal.
Very big deal. And you're just going to blow it?
Throw it all away because some girl rejected you.
It's like that dude. What's that famous dude that girl was like, I want you to put a baby in me, but then sued him for sexual assault or something?
Oh, it's Shannon Sharp.
That guy.
No,
why do you do this dumbass shit?
She wanted him to put a big black baby in her. And she was gross. I'm sorry. People's like, oh, she's so hot. Some Instagram, whatever. I thought she was yucky. And she sounded like she was stupid.
Okay.
I mean, if you heard the audio.
I did hear the audio.
She's like, that's not a nice thing to say, Shannon. Knowing damn well what the whole time that she has all motives with her relationship with him. I'm not saying what he's doing is okay, because all he did was expose himself and open himself up to be exploited. And he's a dumbass 60-year-old man messing with this 20-year-old girl or whatever, which is stupid and gross on its own accord.
So another thing Moore did is he grabbed some butter knives while he was inside the victim's apartment and then made several intimidating and terrifying statements. He threatened self-harm and told the victim that blood is on your hands.
He gonna kill himself with a butter knife?
With a butter knife.
Damn, bro.
He ain't for real.
That's violent. Yeah, tell me you're not really gonna self-harm yourself without telling me that.
I mean, geez.
I got a boat. You go do spread yourself out here on the carpet? What the fuck?
Start spreading the news.
I'm going to sit here on the oven until I get just room temperature, and you're going to see, bitch.
I'm going to start melting.
You get that bread out, toast it, and I'm going to show you something. Damn.
Yeah. So the judge ultimately granted the coach a cash surety bond for $25,000 and ordered him not to contact the victim. And he could only be released with a GPS tether.
Okay. Which they're not going to monitor in real time, so that means nothing.
I mean, what the hell is this shit?
I don't know. Some dumbass with no impulse control who's obviously...
I just am blown away at the stupidity of all this.
It's stupid, but he's probably dangerous for real.
That's what you said.
To the victim.
I mean, this restraining order, this tethering device, I mean, who's to say that's going to stop him from going further with this?
It's not. We've seen it a million times.
I'm actually surprised that they've moved so swiftly to get rid of him and stuff, because typically in these situations, you know,
we're gonna have
we want to investigate, and you know.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's because he's a coach and not a player. If he was a star player, they would move much slower, because they don't want to. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of people. The conversation is not what did he do to this victim. What is this guy doing? He's crazy. This is out of control. The conversation is, what does this mean for our sports program? That's the bigger conversation in Michigan right now. And I think that's fucking disgusting, personally.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm surprised that they moved so quickly.
I know. But
I mean, in today's climate with social media, and they have this, credible information, I guess they had no choice. But I feel like if this had happened just a few years ago, it would have been like covered up, or they would have tried to make it like, oh, it's not a big deal or whatever. Now,
I must say, if he's guilty of these things, he's a piece of shit. There have also been many times, that there's been allegations against these young stars, athletes, and stuff like that were not true, and it ruined their lives. And it really did, put their whole life on a whole nother trajectory, and that's not right either. That happens a lot too. You got to say that.
Like the Duke lacrosse players.
Well, that's a prime example of it. But yeah,
there have been other cases.
Yeah, and
that's wrong. I see you.
But if you do that, there's been many athletes have been protected when they are pieces of shit.
You know what I think? Bottom line is, we just all need to stop being shitty. Like, stop being shitty people. Stop doing shitty things. Like, why can't we just agree to stop being shitty, right?
Okay.
It would just... the world would be a better place.
It'd be less shitty.
Don't be shitty. Don't pour acid on people. Don't stalk them and then threaten to kill yourself with a butter knife. That's like, I've got this jar of Flintstone vitamins, Dylan. Don't make me do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat them all.
Right. And my bones are going to be so strong.
Exactly.
All right. So thank you for that recap, Heather. It's been fun as usual. I miss our recraps. We're going to get back in them. Yeah. Can't wait.
Going to get back in them, huh?
That's right.
Well, I am going to go ahead and make an announcement, Dylan. In January, we will be taking a little break.
Okay.
It'll be for like a week or two.
Okay.
I'm having a surgery. I'll just say that in January. And so to rest and recuperate, I don't know exactly how it's going to go. I mean, I think it's a maybe not so serious surgery, but you just don't know.
You never know, and I think you need to certainly take time and concentrate on that in your health and she may craft some content.
Yeah, I mean, because it does have a bit of a recovery period,
Right.
you know, and so yeah, we're probably going to take a week or two off in January just so I can rest and recover, just so everybody knows that's going to be coming up pretty
Yeah.
soon. I can't believe we're almost into a brand new year.
And-
And you know what this marks, Dylan? 7 actual years of podcasting.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Damn.
on December, I believe it's the 28th, is like our anniversary,
Damn, that's a long
our
time.
podversary.
We never thought that we would continue to do it this long. And we've had so much fun. We've met so many great people.
That's the best part, is like the conversations we've had, the folks we've met,
Yeah.
even, you know, people who like just we know on social media. It's like they become friends. You know, we have folks who send us memes and funny videos, and it's like you just feel like you have this kinship, right?
It's true. And we love everyone. Thank you for that. All the feedback and everything. And during Heather's and I's sabbatical, if you are DTing for a little bit of Mountain Murders content, you can join us over at the Patreon, and you can find tons of extra ad-free content over there.
Yeah, I'm actually in the midst of episode 4, our West Memphis 3 series, a deep dive in that. Yeah, it's a wild story. So we will be releasing our 4th episode in that series here pretty soon. Cold cases all month long, so keep listening. Gonna have something else for you next week.
All right.
It's a good one.
All right.
It's a good one.
Every great thing must come to an end. So bye for now.
Bye.